Welcome back. Hunter Biden's business partner, Rob Walker, testified before the House Oversight and Judiciary Committees last week. Walker claimed that Joe Biden was, quote, never involved in Hunter's business deals. However, the Oversight Committee writing this on X: the Chinese company paid Hunter Biden and his associates $3 million shortly after Joe Biden left office as a thank you for the work they did while Joe Biden was in office. Republicans also revealed the $3 million payment came as Joe was meeting with the president of Chinese company CEFC. Members of the Biden family received money from that deal, even though they did not work on it. Joining me right now is South Carolina Congresswoman Nancy Mace. She's a member of the House Oversight Committee. Congresswoman, thanks very much for being here this morning.
Good morning, Maria. Thank you.
What was your takeaway to the Rob Walker testimony?
Well, we know that the Biden family, Joe Biden, actually was involved because, as you said, he took meetings, he had dinners, there were meetings in his office, et cetera. He was on phone calls with Hunter Biden and his business partners. So to say that Joe Biden was not involved at all is just a flat out lie. And it shows us Joe Biden has lied, the White House, the press secretary has lied, Hunter Biden has lied, everyone has lied, including, I believe, Hunter Biden's attorneys throughout this thing. And so we've got to continue to get to the bottom of it. Hunter Biden will be coming into the Oversight Committee in a few weeks for his infamous deposition, and I will be there taking notes.
Well, I mean, look, your colleagues on the Democrat side are also saying he said it, Rob Walker said it, and, you know, that's what they're going with. So you say he's lying. Do you have any evidence?
Well, what I'm saying is everyone that's denied Joe Biden's involvement is absolutely lying, because we know that Joe Biden has taken meetings, had dinners, been on phone calls. There's no way in anyone's right mind who's logical or reasonable that Joe Biden was absolutely not involved. We know by Hunter Biden's emails that the big guy was his father, that he got a cut out of everything that Hunter Biden made. And he got paid by Communist China. He got paid by Russia. He got paid by Romania and folks in Ukraine. And so I don't believe anyone that says Joe Biden was not involved. I'm not buying it.
Yeah, I mean, look, there are so many fires to put out just based on inept policy out of this administration. But when you take a look at the corruption and what you and your oversight colleagues have been able to expose, obviously James Comer, the chairman of your committee, do you believe this story? I mean, this is the biggest scandal anybody has ever seen in terms of political scandal, that and the Russia collusion lie, I would say. Do you think this is going to take down President Biden?
I hope that it does. And even Adam Schiff is still talking about the Russia collusion as if it was real, and it's not. But everything, you look at Joe Biden, he's going to go down as the most corrupt and most weak president in U.S. history. And look what is happening with Iran right now. I mean, Joe Biden also has blood on his hands. This never would have happened under Donald Trump, because Donald Trump, our enemies, feared him. They were scared of him. They would have never. There was peace in the Middle East. We had the Abraham Accords. And look how weak Joe Biden is. Not only is he corrupt, but he's a very weak president in the White House and on the world stage. And it's hurting our country and our allies around the world.
Yeah, I mean, earlier we ran the soundbite of him saying don't. Like, that was his response to Iran. President Biden says now the U.S. will retaliate after an Iranian-backed drone strike killed 3 U.S. troops in Jordan. Some want the president to go directly after Iran. I spoke with John Ratcliffe, who basically warned us of all of this early in the Biden administration. Texas Senator John Cornyn writes this on X: target Tehran. South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham writes, hit Iran now, hit Iran hard. Pennsylvania Congressman Scott Perry joined me in the last hour. Here's what he told me. Watch this.
The Biden administration, following in the footsteps of the Obama administration, has empowered them. And of course, with billions upon billions in American sanctioned dollars. What do you think they're going to do with it? They are a terrorist superstate. Any single American across the country, whether Republican, Democrat, or anywhere in between, recognizes who these people are. They are the enemy. They have avowed death to America and death to Israel, and they're carrying it out. Nobody should be surprised.
I mean, this is so disturbing, Congresswoman. What should the response be, in your view?
Well, I'm in South Carolina. The district I represent is heavily with military installations and active duty military. I come from a strong military family. My father is a retired general. And I see how the weakness that Joe Biden has projected around the world, how it's weakened our position And all of this started when Joe Biden was vice president under Obama, the JCPOA. They gifted Iran over $100 billion. And just 6 months ago, Maria, the Biden administration tried to give Iran billions more. We have funded terrorism in Gaza. We are funding terrorism activities with Iran and their proxies. This is all Joe Biden's fault. And it's ironic because the same people on the left, the same Democrats who said that Donald Trump would start World War III, are the exact same people on the left who are literally trying to start World War III. If Biden is going to go after Iran and do strikes or cause a war, he better come to Congress and make his case and get our approval. Secondly, this is the reason that 2024 is so important. We talk about every election cycle, but this is the one. This would have never happened under Donald Trump. Donald Trump is the man who can save America because his enemies feared him. And the third thing is that when you look at the projection of weakness, we got to stop. We have to stop giving money to Iran. We have to stop funding terrorism. And we've done it all over the world for decades now. It has to end.